The Rain of Silence. The rain had been falling steadily over the city for as many days as Mira could count. It was the kind of rain that blurred the edges of everything, buildings melting softly into mist, streetlights casting halos on the slick pavement, and hearts wrapped in a kind of quiet loneliness. Every time those steady drops began to fall, Mira found herself drawn like a moth to the warm glow of a little bookstore tucked away between a faded cafe and an old tailor's shop on Marguerite Street. The bookstore, named The Whispering Leaves, was a narrow, cozy place with wooden shelves stretched up to the ceiling and thick rugs that muffled the sound of footsteps. Its windows were always steamed up, a small haven against the cold and damp. Mira always took refuge there when the rain began, nestling into a corner by the window, watching silver rivulets race downward, and browsing through the silent rows of books. But what Mira noticed most, through each rain-soaked day and into the gray twilight, was the man. He sat quietly by the back wall, in a high-backed leather armchair worn soft from years of loyal use. In his hands was the same book she noticed every time, the old, green-bound copy of The Great Gatsby. His dark hair was always a little tousled, as if he'd run his hands through it absently while reading. His eyes were hidden behind rimless glasses, though Mira sometimes caught a glimpse of their deep, thoughtful color whenever he glanced up from the pages. He never seemed to notice her. Never spoke or moved much, except to turn the page at slow, deliberate intervals. Mira found herself watching him more and more. What was it about this quiet, unreadable man and his beloved book that made her heartbeat quicken beneath the drumming of the rain? She wasn't sure. Each day, their silent companionship stretched on, two strangers united only by the pattern of falling rain and shared refuge. Until one rainy afternoon, when the bell over the bookstore door chimed unusually loud, slicing through the hush like a cough. Mira stepped inside, clutching her umbrella close. The smell of old paper and something warmer, wood polish, maybe incense, hugged her in welcome. The rain was relentless, tapping against the glass and pooling at the doorstep. She headed toward her usual corner, but just before she could sink down, the man with the green-bound book looked up and met her eyes. The moment felt impossibly long, like the length of a breath caught. Then, he closed the book, finally breaking the silence that had stretched between them like a silver thread. "You always come here when it rains," he said softly. His voice was low, calm, almost hesitant. Mira blinked, startled. "Yes, I suppose I do," she replied, her voice steadier than she expected. She hadn't thought about it before, the strange comfort the rain brought, guiding her back to this shared space. "It's peaceful here," he nodded, sliding the book aside. "It's my favorite place, too. I come when the world feels overwhelming." She smiled, feeling a warmth bloom in her chest despite the chill seeping through the windows. "I'm Mira," she said, holding out her hand. "Elias," he replied, taking it gently. His handshake was firm but kind, grounding her in a moment that had already begun to feel like the start of something. As the rain thrummed against the glass, the two sat together, shelves heavy with stories behind them, and began to talk, softly, carefully. They spoke of books, the weather, and the quiet corners they sought in a world so often loud and unpredictable. Mira learned Elias was a writer, drawn to the solace of classic novels and the illusion of simpler times. And Elias discovered Mira's love for art, her restless longing for stories beyond the pages she read and the skies she watched. Days melted together after that, each rainy afternoon blending into the next, the moments stretching and folding around conversations and shy smiles. The silence between them grew comfortable, not cold or empty, but full of unspoken understanding. One evening, when the rain had finally tapered to a gentle patter, they found themselves lingering after closing time. Elias reached into his coat and pulled out the green-bound Great Gatsby, worn even more deeply now at the spine. He looked at Mira, then flipped the book open to a marked page. "Would you like to read?" he asked, a shy offer in his voice. Mira nodded, stepping closer. They took turns reading passages aloud, their voices mingling with the fading sounds of rain and the soft creak of the store settling into night. The words took on new life, not just lines on a page, but a bridge between them. With each shared sentence, the gap of silence between their lives began to close, folding into a language understood without words alone. Rain, once a barrier, became the thing that stitched them tightly together. Weeks passed, and even when the rain stopped falling, Mira and Elias still found reasons to return to the Whispering Leaves. Their sanctuary. The place where two quiet souls had found friendship, promise, and something tender blooming between the pages of their days. And when the next storm rolled in, thick and wild, Mira slipped into the bookstore as usual, her heart lighter and louder than ever before. Elias was already there, waiting, the green book nearly forgotten in his lap. The rain outside drummed a steady rhythm, but inside, all was stillness and warmth. She sat beside him, the silence around them no longer empty, but full, filled with a love spoken silently in stolen glances, shared stories, and the steady beat of two hearts finally hearing one another through the rain's quiet song. Like and subscribe for more stories.